help me reach 1,000 subscribers. 2 months had slipped by since the divorce, yet the silence of my apartment still weighed heavily on me. Evenings dragged on, and mornings felt emptier than ever. I often found myself lost in memories of my marriage, searching for the moment everything had unraveled. I no longer felt anger, just a deep exhaustion and uncertainty about what lay ahead. One rainy evening, as I sat sipping tea, a knock at the door startled me. I wasn't expecting anyone. Visitors had become rare since the split. When I opened it, I froze. There stood Emma, my ex-wife's younger sister, clutching her umbrella, her eyes flicking nervously away from mine, as if unsure she should be there. "May I come in?" she asked softly. I hesitated, but stepped aside. It was strange seeing her here. During my marriage, Emma had always been polite, though we were never close. Now the air between us carried the weight of the past, the broken marriage. With her sister hanging over our heads, she explained that her visit wasn't meant to cause trouble. She had been carrying a secret for some time, knowledge about my marriage that I hadn't known. My stomach tightened as I braced myself for what she might say. Thinking the chapter of my divorce was already closed, Emma admitted that my ex-wife had been unfaithful long before the divorce. She had tried to warn her sister, saying it was wrong to betray me, but her warnings had gone unheeded. Emma looked at me with regret, saying she couldn't bear to stay silent any longer. Her voice shook as she shared the details, and I could see the weight it had placed on her. I had suspected lies, but never had proof. I had walked away quietly, believing love had simply faded. Now I understood that my trust had been broken long. Before the papers were signed, anger rose, not just at my ex-wife, but at myself, for never noticing. Emma reached across the table and said softly, "You deserved better. I couldn't keep this from you." Her honesty brought a strange mix of pain and relief. Pain for the betrayal, relief for finally knowing the truth. Our conversation stretched late into the night. She described how her sister had changed over the years, becoming selfish, careless. With the people who loved her, Emma admitted their relationship had suffered, weighed down by her sister's choices, almost as if she carried a portion of the blame. I thanked her for her courage. Standing against family was no small feat, and I sensed the struggle it had taken for her to come forward. When the door closed behind her that night, something inside me shifted. Months of restraint, of trying to remain the bigger person, suddenly felt like weakness. I couldn't stop picturing the lies, the nights my ex-wife had spent away, the smirk she wore during our final argument. My hand shook with a rage I thought I had buried. I decided I couldn't let it go. The next morning, I drove to her house without a plan, just a burning need for confrontation. Emma's words echoed in my mind as I knocked. When she opened the door, her shock was immediate. She tried to speak, but my fury drowned her out. I unleashed everything I had learned, accusing her of betrayal, deception, and manipulation. Neighbors peeked through windows as she attempted to calm me, but I didn't stop. I told her she had destroyed everything good in my life, that forgiveness was impossible. She called me pathetic, and in that moment, something inside me broke entirely. Years of hurt poured out as sharp, cutting words. I didn't touch her, but I tore apart the image she had carefully maintained in front of everyone by the time I left. She was in tears, pale and humiliated. Driving home, I expected relief, but felt hollow instead, as if I had burned down a house I once called mine. The anger had left nothing but scorched remnants. Later, Emma texted, expressing her disappointment at the scene. I didn't reply. 2 months after the divorce, I thought I was moving toward healing, but I had reopened old wounds and lost more than I realized. My ex-wife's mask was gone, but in the process I had lost something to my peace. What had started as a knock at the door to reveal the truth had plunged me into darkness. I wasn't sure I would ever escape.